Hi guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to apply Jamberry nail wraps, and what I'm doing this week is our 7-day challenge where I actually put a nail wrap on as an accent nail and then I use a lacquer so that I can get a good judge on how the lacquer holds up in comparison to the nail wrap. But before we think about applying the nail wraps, we need to talk about nail prep. So to start off, let me show you guys all the tools I'm going to be using today. I have cuticle remover and a nice little pin format that Jamberry has. I have a cuticle pusher with a rubber tip, an orange stick just in case, and I have a emery nail file board that's pretty rough. And then inside of my deluxe toolkit that Jamberry provides, I have scissors that I'm going to be using. I have a glass nail file I'm going to be using, and then I also have our metal cuticle pusher. And then over to the side here, I have a mini heater. If you guys don't have a mini heater yet, a blow dryer on a low setting can help do the trick. And then I also have some rubbing alcohol and cotton swab. So, nail prep. Let's start with the cuticle remover. This one's really easy. You just remove the top, give a little twist, and then you can actually apply it onto your fingernail here. And you want to put it along that cuticle edge and a little bit onto your nail bed. Now, most people don't realize that along with the cuticle, you actually have a little bit of invisible cuticle that will sit on your nail bed, and it's important to push back the cuticles, but also to get rid of that invisible cuticle. I find that this metal cuticle pusher does a really great job at helping to remove that. So you just want to push on your nail and push those cuticles back. Make sure to get the edges. And as you push, you can actually see that this metal cuticle pusher is going to help get some of that invisible cuticle up off of my nail. And once I feel that I've done a good job and I've gotten all of that off, I just use some rubbing alcohol to clean up the mess. So once that's done, I like to get my nail file and shape my nail. My nail's pretty well shaped right now, but you would just go ahead and do that. And then you want to go wash your hands with some sort of oil cutting soap, like Dawn dish soap or something like that, to help dry out those nail beds and get those nail oils off of your nails so that your wrap will stick that much better. So I've actually done all of those other steps on the nail that I'm actually going to be applying the wrap to today, so we'll skip right over to that step. Alright, so here is the nail wrap I'm using today. And when you guys are deciding what finger you're going to put a wrap on, you want to consider sizing. And it's really important to pick a size that's not going to touch the skin on the side of your nail. If it were to touch your skin, that means that it's not going to adhere to the nail and it's going to peel pretty quickly. So make sure that you guys can see your nail on either side of that wrap, and if you can, then that's awesome. That's the size you want to use for that nail. So once you have that figured out, I like to use the end of my cuticle pusher, this nice little plastic end. It does a really great job holding onto the wrap, and then my finger oils aren't getting all over the wrap. And then I'm going to turn my mini heater on, let it heat up a little bit, and then I will hold my wrap just for a couple seconds. Glossy wraps only need anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds. And then I'm going to come over here and start applying it to the nail. Now I like to put it pretty close to that cuticle, but not touching my actual skin. Alright, so you want to make sure, so I actually placed it where if I were to push it down, it would touch my skin. So I'm going to try that again. Alright, that looks better. Alright, so I like to push it down at the base through the tip, but not the sides yet, because I'm going to go back over to my heater and heat one side. And then I'm actually going to push down through the base here, pulling back my cuticle, and then move towards the front. There we go. And then we'll do that again on the other side. So I like to start at the base here, push to the outside, and then move from the tip to the outside. Awesome. Alright, so looks like we're on there pretty good. I want to hold that again in front of the heater for a couple seconds. Then take my cuticle pusher and go through and just push along all of those edges. I'm pushing out towards the outside of the nail. And this is important as well because not only do you need heat to make sure your Jamberry wraps stay on your nails really well, you need pressure. So just want to make sure that that seal is nice and set along all of the edges. Make sure that my skin is not touching the actual wrap. Alright, looking pretty good. So now that I know that it is on there, it's pressed down pretty hard, you guys can see, you can actually see a little bit of my nail there. That's actually good. Nobody's going to notice that, and it's going to ensure that I have a nice seal there on my wrap. So, because I've already shaped my nails, I can just go ahead and cut this wrap as close to my nail as possible. There we go. Now I can actually go back and trim a little bit more. Now, if you prefer to shape your nails after you've applied your wraps, what you could do is just take your nail clippers and clip off the excess wrap and your nail. And then you can go on to this next step, which I'm going to work on right now. So go back to your kind of rougher nail file, and you're going to do filing in a downward motion to file off the excess wrap that you weren't able to cut off with the scissors. And as that happens, you guys can see some of that extra nail wrap that was hanging off the edge there is starting to come off. Now you want to do this because if you leave wrap hanging off your fingernail, it's going to catch on everything you touch, and it's inevitably going to peel up off of your nail. So you're not going to get a long-lasting manicure that way. So you want to go ahead and file off all that excess. Now if you decided to cut your nails while you were trimming, you may be able to forego this step and just cut the excess wrap so it's flush with your nail. So it looks like I did a pretty good job there. And once you get to that point, you want to grab your glass nail file, and this is going to give you a smoother edge. Make sure that that wrap isn't jagged on the edges so it won't catch on things. And I like to do this at a 45-degree angle. And what this will do is just take ever so slightly the edge of your wrap off. And this is nice if you're using your hands a lot or use them kind of like a tool, so that the fingernail is actually what's doing the action and your nail wrap doesn't catch on things that you're picking at throughout the day. So once that is done, there we go. It's looking pretty good. So you just want to clean up those edges. Looks about done. I like to throw it back under the heater for a couple seconds. And then once I do that, I go back around and I just like to push on those edges one more time for good measure. I like to push along the tips for good measure. There we go. And then you're good to go. If you are going to be doing all of your fingers, I typically would put the wraps on all of them and then do the trimming and filing. But because I just have the one today, that's all I'm going to do. Hope that, guys, that helps you out with your application. Good luck, guys. Let me know if you have questions.